I wanted to do a quick video on underrated aspects in relationship astrology because, people always talk about the Sun Moon conjunction and the Venus Pluto. And when I say people, I mean me too. I love talking about those, but they're so commonly talked about. I wanted to talk about today some of the more underrated aspects in synastry and composite charts that are really, really good to have in a relationship. The first one that I'll mention is Mercury aspects. I love to see in a relationship chart in synastry when two people's Mercuries are either conjunct, trine, or sextile. The sextile can actually be really fun because we're different enough to have some different ideas, but compatible enough to be able to talk and talk and talk all day long about those and get along relatively well. The opposition can also be good depending on the signs, mutable signs better for communication. Positive Mercury aspects, those Mercury aspects, Mercury to Mercury, can be really beneficial because we can communicate. And that is so important in a relationship. Now, another underrated aspect would be one partner's Mercury making a trine aspect to basically any planet of the partner. That shows that the Mercury person can express themselves and the planet person can feel understood in the energies of that planet and able to intellectualize the energies of that planet. So that's really good too. Another underrated aspect is positive Mercury aspects in the composite chart. So the composite chart is different than the synastry. The composite chart is the blending of the two charts. Now, when we have positive aspects there, same thing, we can communicate, and that's really, really helpful in a relationship. So the next underrated aspect that I want to talk about is positive Jupiter aspects. When we have positive Jupiter aspects, and pretty much any aspect of Jupiter could potentially be positive, although the square in the opposition can end up being a little bit more exuberant than we need to be at times. We can overdo things. But when there is Jupiter in the synastry and composite chart, we give each other a lot of grace because we actually just feel like together we really tap into a more tolerant, expansive, open-minded energy when there's a lot of Jupiter conjunctions. Especially trines can be really, really nice to have, where we just feel joy in each other's company, and special bonus points if we have a Mercury Jupiter aspect in the synastry or composite chart. That is really, really nice to have because then we have our minds and our expansiveness blending in this beautiful way where we can communicate and actually come to these broader understandings of life, and it can be really joyful communication aspect. So there are some underrated aspects not always talked about: Mercury, Jupiter, and all positive Mercury aspects and all Jupiter aspects. Although Jupiter is sometimes more mentioned, I feel like the amazingness of Mercury Jupiter is often missed.